found a really unusual food hall and cafe here in St Nick's Market that offers a very unusual food experience. So let's pop inside and see what it's all about.
So the food hall is the best of local cuisine. Basically, we supply customers who come in on a daily basis with products from Somerset and Gloucester mainly, but the southwest of England on the whole. And we have a fishmonger, a butcher, a cheesemonger, patisserie, fruit and veg, fresh bread, and a whole range of deli items as well.
If you haven't already put two and two together, the Café and Food Hall is called Source, and that's because they source everything locally. But what's unusual about this is they have their very own beehive high up on the roof of St Nick's. Who'd have thought it?
We took our first hive up in May 2015. And we did our first harvest in August, and we sold out. I think we produced 159 jars, and we sold out within 2 days.
Just a few metres away on the roof lies the home of the honeybees. The humble honeybee is in decline across the UK, and here at Source they've taken action by installing some urban beehives on top of the roof in St Nicholas's Market. Over 50,000 bees have been transforming nectar within a 3-mile radius into delicious honey.
A bee goes off to a flower, and the flowers produce nectar as a bribe. I won't get evolutionary on you, but so it sucks up the liquid, brings it back in its honey sac. Foragers then pass it on to one of the house bees, who then put it in the cells. They do fantastic hexagonal cells, which are angled slightly upwards so it all doesn't run out again. So they put it in there and they keep filling it up, and when it's starting to get full, you see lots of bees fanning it to fan off the warmth, just to fan off, evaporate the water. That's the word I was looking for, evaporate the water. So it becomes thicker and thicker, and that's where you get your nice thick honey. What you can do, you can just cut out the wax and you can eat it, and that the best thing, the best ever, is just to go to a beehive and take out a chunk of fresh honey. It's just so nice.
On average, one of these beehives produces over 60 jars of delicious honey. From the amount of honey being produced, it's evident that the centre of our city is greener than we might expect.
Well, this is a hive, and it's comprised of a number of boxes, and we call the bottom boxes down here, where the bees enter and where the queen lays her eggs, as the brood box. This is the nest. And then we normally put what we call a queen excluder between the brood box, which could normally go in here, so that the queen cannot get up into the upper boxes, which we call supers. The supers are where the bees actually store the nectar, the food. So we don't want the queen laying eggs among the food. So basically in the bottom she lays her eggs, she's attended on by the nursery bees, and the bees, once they reach a certain age, then go out and forage. They bring back pollen, they bring back nectar, they go in through the little entrance at the bottom there, and they crawl up through the brood, through the queen excluder, and up into the supers. And if you're very lucky in a particular year, you'll have lots of supers on top, because there'll be lots of stores here. So that's it. We call this bottom bit the landing board. When the bees are very active, a lot of the bees will actually come and land on the landing board, waiting their turn to go into the hive. And we keep a fairly restrictive entrance there, so that the bees can protect their hive. As we go into the summer and there's a very strong honey flow, we actually move this little bar across here and to make the entrance wider so that the bees can get in and out. Now there you've got an example of a bee landing on the board, and she will crawl up and go into the hive just now.
Unfortunately, you can't come on the roof and see the bees as they're too busy making the honey. The honey has been that popular in the shop that they've actually sold out. But don't you worry, this pot of BS1 honey will be back on the shelves in this cafe on May the 2nd, so don't miss out.